Well, as a well-packed show, we're giving to you what you need to know. The lockdown, Gifty and Appear, bringing to you what the deployment exercise is or had been. And then today, that is this morning, we're going live to the streets to get to communities to have that great interaction. And also on the side, we're speaking to psychologists, those who tend to have family guidance, counseling, etc., to get to know if we're supposed to live in communities, and let's say, for example, we have compound houses and all that. How do those households, in those houses, for example, tend to live in such a way that they don't spread diseases or even go according to the guidelines of public health safety? So we'll speak to a number of them. Now, Erastus Asaridonko is in Sunyani, and it's where we're bringing to you live. There's a national disinfection exercise ongoing, and Erastus is going to tell us where he is and then give you a brief as to what has transpired so far. This time, the Bono region is where the whole exercise is. Erastus, what can you tell us?
Well, so we are currently in Sunyani in the Bono region, and today we are inside the Sunyani Central market, and that is where the disinfection exercise is taking place at the moment. So we have inside the market, we have men with the mechanized knapsack sprayers, as you can see in there, doing the spraying at the moment. So we are starting from the Sunyani Central Market, where we are doing the disinfection on the streets of Sunyani proper. We also have the vehicle sprayers also going around doing the streets as well. Let me remind viewers that we have not witnessed or recorded any case of COVID-19 as yet in Sunyani, but then this is a precaution to try and make sure that we do not witness or record any of such in the region. And so currently we have these men, many of them scattered across the market, and they are doing the disinfection all across. We also have another team which is spraying directly into open spaces as well. They are also on the streets of Sunyani. Then we have the drone people, the team with the drones. They are also doing the disinfection of open spaces. So this is what we're covering for you today, this morning, and then we'll be moving to the streets to capture the other ones as we go on. So as you can see, we are doing a more detailed spraying inside the market, and there's another team that is doing the open space. And it's quite a fairly large market indeed. So we are starting from somewhere. There are many of such spraying gangs all scattered across the length and breadth of the Sunyani Central market. We have other teams as well in the Bono East and the Ahafo regions, and that is where they are also covering similar exercises. I'm here with my colleague Precious Samevo. Precious, run us through, how many markets do we have? How many are we covering so far?
Yes, Erastus, in the Bono region we have 125 markets that needs to be disinfected today. And if you go to the Bono East, we have 78 markets, and then the Ahafo region we have 43 markets. But by way of personnel for today's exercise, particularly in the Brong Ahafo region, for the military we have 127 personnel supervising this exercise, and from the police we have 107, and then from Zoom Lion, who are spearheading this particular exercise, we have 150 of their men and women ensuring that the disinfection goes on well. NADMO has provided 28 people, and from the fire service we have 20 men and women joining us to ensure that the market is properly disinfected here in the Sunyani Central Market. As you may have said, from here we'll be going to the Nanaboso Market, the Atronie Market, the Abisi Market, and all the other markets within the Sunyani municipality and then the region as a whole. But in all, Zoom Lion is providing about 2,000 personnel for the entire exercise in the three regions.
Well, a short while ago we saw the regional minister following with her own team as well. But Precious, let's talk about this. We have not witnessed any case yet in the Bono region and the Hafo regions as well. Would you say this is an overkill?
Well, it's not an overkill. Prevention, they say, is better than cure. And as you may be aware, this thing started in Wuhan, in China. But here we are in Ghana, having to deal with it. So if it is in Accra, as well as Kaswa, Tema, Kumasi, and other parts of the country, it is only fair and proper that we start preparing ourselves against COVID-19 here in the region. So I think it is the right thing that we are doing, and hopefully, as the Traditional Council said, we will not record any COVID-19 in the region.
Roland, let me also give you updates as we were traveling from Kumasi to Sunyani with regards to the lockdown. On the road at Tabri toll booth, for example, we saw many commercial vehicles that have been stopped. Passengers who are behind the toll booth, they were not allowed to cross over to Kumasi because authorities say that they are not allowing, the vehicles to be crossing over with large numbers of people. So quite a number of vehicles have been stopped at the toll booth there, and that's just by way of information. So inside here, you can see still within the Sunyani Central Market, we still have other teams that are still doing the disinfection. So let's try to speak with some of the people here. This is the MC for Sunyani. So let's get her take on the disinfection exercise. What are we trying to achieve this morning?
Good morning and thank you very much. For now, because of this COVID-19, everyone fears. Nobody wants to die. And therefore, there's a need for us to also prevent ourselves. And apart from the COVID-19, we know that other bacteria, fungi, and other viruses can also cause humans so far as our health is concerned. And therefore, the Ministry of Local Government, the assemblies, NADMO, Zoom Lion have also come together to help combat all kinds of diseases that may be caused by these bacteria and, for that matter, viruses. So that is why today the people have all come together, including the media, military, the forces. We've all come together to help disinfect our market, since it is a congested area, and therefore if we are able to combat these diseases, at the end of the day, at least we'll be able to combat the COVID-19 and many other diseases that are caused by these viruses, and for that matter, the fungi and bacteria.
We have people who are trooping in from the lockdown areas, Accra, Kumasi, and other areas, trooping into the areas like Sunyani. Any plans in place to ensure that all these people are captured and screened for something?
Thank you so much. Yes, when we had the info that people are trooping in, what we did is that we asked all the assembly members within these areas for them to go around with their unity committee members to find out where people are moving from Kumasi and, for that matter, Accra. And so I think we have some communities like in Krankrom and many other places where we've noticed that people are there. And so as we speak now, the assembly members are taking their data, and then with the Ministry of Health, Dr. Polnapia and then her team, they are also moving to those places to find out and first of all identify whether some of them have fevers and many others. Again, we have also sensitized the people that if they suspect or a friend of theirs or a family members travel from Accra, the first thing is that as soon as they enter the house, they should enter to the washroom, wash down thoroughly, and then spray their luggage before they are given even a seat to sit and for them. And again, they should also observe the social distancing. I think with this in place, we'll be able to combat it to some extent.
Thank you very much, Madam MCE, and that's the MCE for Sunyani. Justina Owusu Banahene. There talking to us. But let's move to the street and give you a sense of what is happening on the street as well. We have quite a team on the streets here of Sunyani, and the exercise is not happening within the market alone. We have quite a team out there. We have Zoom Lion, we have the security agencies, we have personnel from the local government, and they are all in here to ensure that the whole market area is sanitized and disinfected. So quite in your shot there, we see the team over there. Today we have a drone. As we witnessed in Kumasi, we still have the drone as well, and we're going to fly the bigger one today. In Kumasi, we could not take the shot of the bigger drone. So the 10-liter drone is what you see in your shot at the moment. And we are going to spray into the open spaces as well. This one can take 10 liters of the chemical that is going to be used to disinfect. Now we have the other one which can also take 5 liters, but we are going to witness the flying of this one first. That's the M16 10-liter drone to spray into the open spaces and make sure that we have a total disinfection of the area. So if you're watching us live, we are inside the streets of Sunyani Central Market, and currently the Zoom Lion personnel, many of them here, are undertaking the disinfection of the entire market. We have personnel who are inside the market doing the detailed spraying of the various stores and items that have been covered over there. And then we have this drone we're going to see fly in your shot there. It's the M16 10-liter drone. So we are going to fly it at the moment and see.
We're about to give a demo to the minister, explain to us if you want to capture that.
All right, so we'll get to see how it's going to be flown. So we'll get the personnel to tell us how it's going to do. But let me say that this drone, in fact, has enough force. That's why they are asking everybody to go around and allow it to do their own thing. Let's get the briefing or the tutelage being given to the regional minister.
Niati Kwepe, I am the MD for Area Plus Drone Services. We'll be contracted by the government through Zoom Lion to come and also assist in conducting the spraying exercise. But what we specialize in is drone use. So we're here bringing, we have 2 drones over here. One takes 5 liters and then the other takes 10 liters. So we're going to give you at least a demonstration before we start our exercise to go on. Okay, thank you very much.
So that's the briefing to the regional minister, and now the team is ready to fly.
4.7 kilometer radius.
You see these wires? Yes, so how are you going to protect our wires for us?
The wires. Yes. And the drone also has sensors around that. Once it gets close to an object, automatically it stops by itself. So we put all those measures in place. Okay, thank you.
Well, so we're going to see the drone fly now. It's ready for action. As you can see there in your shot, quite a number of media personnel here catching the action. And you can see it ready in itself for flying. The other time in Kumasi, we saw the 5-liter drone M16 fly. Today we are seeing the 10-liter M16 drone fly to disinfect the open spaces. So it's ready for takeoff. And there we go. And it's in the air already. And it's like a giant bird lifted itself off the ground. And as you can see, it's pouring the chemical directly into open space and on the ground as well, filling the whole air with the chlorine chemical in its base. And you can see it this way. You can refer to it as a flying spider, perhaps. And so it goes back and forth, disinfecting the entire area. And we have quite a team here flying this.
Because of the wires here, we will not be able to do a full spraying because we are trying to be careful of this. So we just want to give a little demo and then we can enter the market and do the actual thing. Okay. Yes.
So that's my gentleman here telling us that we are doing a demo here outside for the regional minister to see, and then it will get into the market proper and do the disinfection. And that is what we're doing currently. So is it going to fly higher than it's doing right now?
Yes, it can go higher than it's doing right now. But we're just being careful around here. So this is just a demo for the minister to see.
Madam Regional Minister, your impression so far?
I must say I'm highly impressed. For the drone, demonstration of the drone, it tells us that what the Vice President also gave us, an assurance that those drones are going to be for medical purposes, is going to be a reality. It's not just it. So once this one is in motion, we know that all other drones can do what is expected. of the country to do forward. Thank you.
And that's the regional minister for you. So currently we're going to see it fly over the market, the Sunyani Central market, to do the disinfection over there. And if you can see above, the drone is our own drone capturing the action from above. Later on, we're going to get you the feed for you to see how this particular drone looks like from a bird's eye view over there. So you can see our own drone flying alongside that one. And if you just joined us, this is the Sunyani Central Market. And this is the disinfection exercise which has been carried out in Accra, in Kumasi, and currently in Sunyani Central Market. And what you're witnessing now is the M16 10-liter spraying drone, which has been currently deployed. Is here, so let's have a word with her as well. Mama, and yeah, disinfect mo market, yeah, spray mu, yeah, hasa the niyama airco. At the end, I will expect to say basi.
Me that was say, woman menya sa konya we. The ebesi ne say, by the end of the spraying or disinfecting no, ebema one kitten a one market ha. That you know, a day how be bread any pa edi dano, a be free.
So she's expecting that this exercise will kill microbes and other things found in the market, not the COVID-19 alone. What do you want to know concerning the spread of the virus? What do you want authorities to do? Because Sunyani has not witnessed any case yet.
Me pese authority no ehune say. Nipa bi mu no every mia abewura kroyimu. Enti Ministry of Health and our Director of Health me stress oma ne nkrofo ngwura kron kitwa ewo ha no na yenyi sa nipa yi no mpie na yen quarantine omo said be ya omo fa yare ni bi free baby emma ha Sunyani man.
So that's the market queen, and she says they suspect that people are moving in from the lockdown areas into Sunyani, and it's their expectation that the health ministry and government will liaise with the local authority to fish them out and put them under quarantine to ensure that they do not spread the virus around if they have any, and that's her expectation. So the market queen herself is here. There are other market women here. They've closed their shops and they are ensuring that the exercise becomes a success. And to the side here, you can see the spraying gang doing their job on the frontage of the various shops, as you can see, disinfecting every part of the shops in there, making sure that every place is covered. And that is the detailed spraying they are doing. And let me remind you that they are not doing this to prevent COVID-19 alone, but they are also ensuring that the microbes and other things that we do have within the market will be killed. And at the end of the day, they will have a sanitized market to trade in. So if you're watching us live, this is the Sunyani Central Market disinfection exercise going on right here. And I'm here with my colleague, Precious Samavo. Precious, your impression so far?
Well, I'm generally impressed with the cooperation that we have from the market, the president of the Sunyani Market Association. They've rallied her colleagues, and they are ensuring that the exercise goes on as planned. And as you can see, almost all of them, they have packed their things so well so that those doing the spraying are not having challenges maneuvering themselves, their wares. Their wares are well covered. They've locked their stores to ensure that the work is done properly. And I'm impressed generally. The Zoom Lion, the security provided, the NADMO Corporation, the coordination between the district assemblies and then the ministry itself, I think is brilliant. And I'm hoping that it will continue like this up to the time that we'll finish in the afternoon.
What is the possibility? What is the possibility that Sunyani, Bono East, Ahafo regions will witness any case with regards to how exposed the place is? Are we sharing any borders with any? Are there any influx of people from neighboring countries to this? What's the nature like?
Well, you see, Erastus, the region shares border with Ivory Coast. If you go to Sampa, there are a lot of routes entering Ivory Coast through Drobo to Domahinkro. So it is easy for people to enter from that side. But I want to believe that as we have the assurance from the immigration that they are protecting the entry point from that side, I want to believe that as the president directive went out there, no one will be able to enter. But you may never know. But it is upon us to ensure that should anybody enter, we are able to identify such people and then screen them to be sure that they are not infected and by extension spread it among the communities that we have here. But as at now, we don't have it, and we are all working towards a point that at the end of COVID, as to when we don't know, but we may not record any case. But I must say, there's been one or two suspected cases.
I was going to come to that.
Yes. One in Brekum about a week ago. Last week, there was one just some few meters away from here, drop in, and then somewhere around 10 or so. But we are told that after those people were tested, they came out negative. And that is good news to people, because the moment people hear that someone is a suspected case, the fear and panic is out there. And when the person is texted, the calm comes. But the advice, as we've been told from the traditional council and then the minister, the MCA, is that when people come in, when our relatives comes in, those who are coming from other lockdown areas, we should be able to alert the officials so that they go through the protocols to ensure that if they have the virus, they will be catered for as early as possible. Having it does not mean the end of your life.
Exactly.
It does not mean the end of your life. It is better you know it now, you know your status now, then we start treatment now. That will help. But if you
Well, so we're bringing to you this live coverage. It is the national disinfection exercise that has now been moved to the Bono region. We have Bono East as well. A number of our correspondents deployed to make sure we bring you comprehensive coverage. Erastus Asari Donko is on that beat for us, but right here in Accra, in Kumasi, the lockdown areas or cities, we're going to comprehensively bring to you what you're seeing. That is, whether the lockdown is ongoing or not, how it is being undertaken, whether as ordinary citizens were obeying as well. And Nanaya PSA will be the reporter in Accra, and then we'll have Kwesi Deborah in Kumasi giving us sneak peek of what we need to know. The communities, the streets, what the police are doing by way of the checkpoints, and also the routine checks they are doing in the communities as well. We'll bring all that to you live here. This is what we want also to tell you. Just in case you live in any of those communities, how are you observing the lockdown? Make sure that you tag us on Facebook, join us on TV, let us know the pictures that is still or video that you have taken so far. Tag us also on Twitter at Join Us on TV. Let us know so far what you've observed. But as families are locked up, How should they be observing all this? What is the effect psychologically of being cocooned in a small area? For example, in the community that I grew up in, Ashaiman, we live in single rooms, chamber and halls. We share lavatories or toilets or bathrooms, and we lived in crowded communities, just like you find in Nima, Mamobi, many of those areas as well. So psychologically, how should you psych yourself up? So we'll be having a psychiatric. Dr. Eugene Dodoy is a consultant psychiatrist, but also a lecturer with the University of Allied Health Sciences at Ho, the Volta Regional Capital. He'll be talking to us. Dr. Paul Odro is going to talk about the likely effect of the public health implications of having people in crowded areas all put together, not going about their business, and how they need to maintain that sort of health and sanitary conditions. And then Amos Kevinanan is a guidance and counseling expert, is going to tell us how the families need to psych themselves up. Make sure that you stick and stay, but we'll take you to the interaction that MFA Apo had with the Minister of Information, or the Minister for Information, Kujo Ponkroma. That was late yesterday, that was the evening of Sunday, and we'll tell you what we need to know. But the situation is still on, the mass disinfection exercise. We'll take you to Techiman, and we'll bring you the latest update just straight away. Let's see what's happening there.
At the Techiman main lorry station. From here we're getting into the Techiman Central Market. This is where the team that have been deployed to take on this mass disinfection exercise is beginning with this particular exercise. In fact, it's going to take place in the entire Bono East region. All 11 MMDAs are also making sure that the various markets, as well as the lorry terminals, plus the entire streets, principal streets within these areas, are going to be disinfected this morning. There have been deployment this morning. Over 300 Zoom Lion personnel have been deployed into the Techiman Central Market, which is one of the largest markets across the country. We also note that all other markets within the Techiman municipality, plus the Techiman North District, going through Atebubu, Amanten, Kranza North and South, Pru East and West, plus Sini East and West. These are the 11 MMDAs we have in the Bono East region, are all going to be disinfected in this particular exercise. I have with me the Bono East Regional Minister, Honorable Kofi Amwakohene, who is going to brief us, give us a short details on what this exercise is all about, and then what they expect to achieve by the end of this exercise. So let me speak to the Bono East Regional Minister briefly, and then he will be updating us on what this exercise is all about, and then what they stand to achieve by the close of the day. Thank you so much for joining us. Good morning.
Thank you. Good morning.
So tell us what has been put in place so far as this exercise is concerned, and what do you expect to achieve by the close of the day?
Thank you very much. May I pay regards to our viewers this morning. And then, as you can see, the whole place since morning has been crowded with machines, and then spray machines, chemicals, and then men. People who are coming to work, and then the security people who are also here to support and protect life and property. So we are lucky today as Bono East, because 78 of our markets are going to be disinfected, and I believe it's going to enhance our preparedness to combat this epidemic that we are faced with as a nation. So you could see the work going on, And I should say a big thank you to Zoom Lion Group because, putting up this intervention, I'll call it, within the shortest possible time is something commendable. And then I would also pay regards to our market women and the stakeholders in the market for such a huge market. We communicated this to them just last Saturday, and if you could see, they have given way for this exercise to go on. And I believe we are going to have a very successful exercise today. And if you look at the speed and then the numbers, we have about 304 men with machines. So I believe we are going to finish today for the stakeholders to assess their market by tomorrow.
How about the other areas? You made mention of 78 markets. Is it the entire region, and then how many men are also taking care of the other areas?
The good thing is that everything is going on simultaneously. As we are here, we divided the region into 5, and then all the 5 men were deployed there, and they all carry on the same activity interchangeably as we see here. So I believe some of the markets which are not bigger as this may even be done, should be done in the shortest possible time. But I will still beg the actors or the stakeholders in the market to still wait so that they start their business tomorrow.
Is the focus only on the markets or the other areas like the lorry terminals I mentioned earlier? Are they all part of this exercise?
The program is for the markets, but look at here, it depends on the dynamics of the area. There are places that you see that the market, the station, the lorry park is embedded in the market, you understand? So a situation like that, then they will take it together. But where the market is at a place that you don't find infrastructure in the place and it's bare, listen, you cannot just spray the floors. But where the markets are embedded with facilities around them, then it's inclusive.
Lastly, is it only for today, or it might go beyond today, depending on if you're able to complete the exercise today? Is that the end of it? If not, is it possible it goes into tomorrow too if it's not been completed?
Yes, it would have been possible, but the fact is that we did preliminary studies, and if you see that Sunyani Central Market, which remains one of the largest markets in Ghana and Africa, we know we have about 300 men deployed here. So you could see that the target is to finish and on time, so that at least we will not bother the market women so much. So here they will finish. Other markets are not as big as this one, and I believe today the exercise would come to an end and for the people to assess their markets.
Lastly, Techiman is more or less like an entry point for a lot of the people who come from the north, from the Burkina Faso, Cote d'Ivoire, Mali, Niger. Are there measures being put in place here in the region to ensure that all these people who do come in and out of the municipality or the region do not bring in this virus here too?
Thank you very much. There have been measures from the beginning of this epidemic. And then as it's a technical problem which needs technical approaches. So that is the reason why, in the wisdom of the executive, led by His Excellency, the President of the Republic, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, they needed to set up a technical committee with experts. And I believe it's been upon the advices that we've come this far. So because it has a global effect, and then it has a national color also, we have a lot of information that are disseminated to the regions, and then we operate it. So in the interim, the yardsticks are that we should wash our hands frequently, with a running water. We need to maintain the social distance. Everything that's stipulated by the president and the WHO is the compliance, platform. But because the whole global world is shaking, locally we also have other little things for lack of maybe complete supply of logistics and other things, or economic implications. People have adopted to maybe a little salt there, which technically has not been earmarked. But I would also support some of these things, that we should look and approach the problem. We should decode it to our context as people, so that at least when the global rate increases, we will not fall short. So far, there have been a lot of things that we are following. This has just come to complement it.
Thank you.
Anna Sabit, bringing to us what is taking place in the Bono East region. I tell you, this is where we also would have to give you comprehensive update on all that is happening. Erastus Asari Donko is also preparing to give us more updates. He in Sunyani Central Market, going to other allied markets that have been designated for the mass disinfection exercise. We do know it is the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development, alongside Zoom Lion, the other subsidiaries and other organizations that are putting this together. But we have to give you all the latest updates.